Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Welcome to Dev with Excel. Okay, so today we are going to be solving the exercise 1.2 of the part 1, right? So in the previous videos we solved exercise 1.1, which we splitted into two different videos, the 1.1a and 1.1b. So today we are going to be solving 1.2. Okay, all right. So this is currently the state of our application, right? So let's see if this still works well. Let's run this code to confirm that our app is working fine. And let's just close this. Let's go to the browser. Okay, so this is the current state of our app. We have this, and this is what we were able to do based on the exercise 1.1. So let's check the next exercise, which is exercise 1.2. So it says refactor the content component so that it does not render any names of parts or their numbers of exercises by itself. Instead, it only renders 3 part components, of which each renders the name and number of exercises of one part. Okay, so looking at this is different from how our app looks right now. In our app, we inside the content component, we rendered the part 1 and the exercises directly, right? So we use props. Now we are not expected to put all those. We are expected to just create another component called parts, and inside this part helps us to return the necessary values we need to return. So let's go back to our code and continue with the code implementation. All right. Okay, so here now we are expected to, for the content, we are expected to remove everything from here. Sorry, everything from here. And then rather we should put parts just as it is in the instruction. So we need to create a parts component to get that done. So we come here and say const parts is equal to, now this is what we call an arrow function, right? So we are using the arrow function to create the part component. So this returns something, and we can just give it a p tag. So here we need to return the parts and the exercise inside this part component. So we simply just do this. Okay, before that, let's give our component a parameter called props. So we say props, then we come here and say props dot, let's give it a name. Let's give the component a name called parts, and also for the exercises is going to be exercises. So we say props dot exercises. All right, so let's save this. It's saved, and we are going to remove this entire part here. So what we need to do here is to place the part component inside the content component. So this becomes part, then something like this, just as the way it is in the question, right? Here we don't need these props also. So what do we do here? Inside this content, we need to copy, in fact, some of this, but let's copy everything here first. Let's place it here, and then for the parts, we simply just come here and say parts equals, let's call this part 1. Then for the exercises, we copy these exercises, we put it here. That's the component, and then we give it a value of exercise 1. Now we won't be needing this one, this course variable, we don't need that, but I think we'll be needing the rest of them. Okay, we'll be needing this also, so we can just leave that here. So we copy this and we change part 1 here to part 2. We also change exercises 1 here to exercises 2. Then also here we change part 1 here to part 3, and here as well we change exercises 1 here to exercises 3. Okay, so we save this. Then the next thing we need to do is coming down to the app component. We don't need all of this anymore up to this part, then we remove it. So here we are going to be putting in a component, a content component inside the app without properties, because here the properties have already been created here, right? Since the part, we've been able to do that using the part component, which has its properties. So when we return the part here, it helps us do all of that, right? Okay, so this settles it for us here. This settles it for us. We can choose to leave these ones here, but I don't think we should leave them here. Let's remove from here to this part. And then we are going to be needing these exercises variables, right? So I think we need to leave those ones here. Let's remove just the part. So we take out this part here, take out this part here, we take out this part here, so that we'll be able to perform sums on these exercises, right, for the total. So let's save this and let's run to see if we are even doing the right thing. So going back to the browser to confirm we are doing the right thing. Oh, awesome. So we've been able to refactor our code using the parts component, and our code works just fine as expected. So we can see that the parts and the exercises were successfully returned here, right? That's 1, 2, 3, and also the sum also was successfully returned. So let's go back to the code and let's see. Let's go back to the instruction to be very sure that we just did what was expected of us. Okay, so it says refactor the content component so that it does not render any names of parts or their numbers of exercises by itself. Instead, it only renders 3 part components, of which each renders the name and number of exercises of one part. So this is exactly what we did here. We can see that we have parts in 3 places, and also they have their properties and values returned, right? Which is exactly what we just did here for the part component, for the content component. Yes. So with this, I think we've been able to successfully run the exercise 1.2 of part 1. So with this, I think we've come to the end of this exercise. So see you in the next video. Thank you.